So this week I had my first session with my therapist, and I already had an intake last week with her and told her about how I felt, that I felt a bit more anxious, that I felt like a pressure on my chest sometimes. And this happened since January, and I thought it was just because I took too much on my plate. I was moving to Bali. I had so many things going on at the same time, and I thought, okay, when I'm in Bali, I think it will go away because then I'm there, then I'm in nature, having more rest. But I didn't feel better because I'm already here now for 3 months and I still have those symptoms. So I thought it's time to reach out to someone because I focused almost for, well, it's almost 6 years ago that I sustained my concussion and whiplash. And I always focused on the physical part. I think I ignored sometimes my emotions, that I just didn't want to talk about it, that I pushed myself a lot. And mostly because of the stress of financial struggles and things like this. Because when you have a concussion, you can't work, you have financial issues, you just need to pay your bills, right? And at the moment I hear that the government in the Netherlands stopped my financial support, I felt a lot of stress. I pushed myself, yeah, many times too much through my symptoms, and I think this resulted in that all my emotions were stored in my body. And if you ignore this for a longer time, you can feel, yeah, there's a moment that it will just pop up and that it's time to deal with it and you really need to do something with it. So that moment for me was in January, February, well, the last couple of months. So I reached out to her, and this therapist, she is Dutch too, and she is in Bali as well. So that's what I really liked. And she had a lot of experience with anxiety, with just trauma and things like this. So I had a really great feeling, and we had the intake last week, and I felt immediately, okay, this is it. I need her. She is a very nice person to talk to, and yeah, I just felt comfortable talking to her about everything. So the intake was going well. She just asked questions about how I felt, what I dealt with, and she really knew what buttons to push. And I think I already cried after 5 minutes because I felt, hey, she knows what she's doing, and it just felt like a relief as well because I don't talk that much about grief, about the things that I missed in my journey, the things that I missed, because before the accident, I was a very active person, had a very busy life. I was always, yeah, always on the road, always doing things, fun things, going out, had a social life. I loved my job. I worked 40 hours and I was just doing well. And then, yeah, you get that accident and everything is just changing. I couldn't go to work anymore. I couldn't keep up with my social life. I just felt so lost for years, and that's doing a lot with your emotions, right? You're missing out on many things. Your life's changing. You are changing as well because you are not the person before the accident anymore, but you don't know who you are after the accident because you still want to be the old person, but you can't, and it's such a struggle. So I was in that for so long, and I mostly try to act normal and to push myself because, yeah, I just wanted to be normal. And that's the main thing that came out of this intake, that she told me, you're still grieving about the things you missed. And that's true because on some days I think, oh my God, I just wish I could join that party with my friends, or yeah, just the normal things that you don't even notice when you are healthy. Just the spontaneous things like going to a restaurant, or if someone asks, hey, shall we go for lunch? That you don't have to think, okay, can I do it? Am I able to do this? Am I feeling well? That are my first thoughts when someone asks me, can you meet, or shall we go to this place? I'm always considering, okay, is this a busy place? Will there be music? How many people are coming? all those questions that I never thought of before I had my accident. It was just the more people, the more fun. And right now is okay. I hope there is only one person because that's easier to handle. So that's a big change. And she told me, okay, it's a lot about grief. So we will focus on grief. We will focus on acceptance, and just to see what you created as a result of the concussion. So that all the positive things that are in my life right now is they are also a reason of the concussion that I sustained. So I know there are a lot of positive things, and we will focus on accepting the things that I lost. And we will do this with a technique, and it's called EFT. And this technique stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And what we basically do, because yesterday I had my first session and I never tried EFT. So we started with, she just explained how it will go. So she told me, you will just sit on your chair, and then with your finger you're tapping on different parts of your body. So at first we were tapping on our hand, and then she was saying some sentences and I had to repeat them. And every time I had to tap on my hand, there were things like that I really struggled with. For example, I just want to feel normal, and then I had to repeat it. Or a sentence like, I missed out on so many things, and all the things that really hurts. And she she just mentioned all the sentences, and from that moment we went on tapping to the forehead next to the eyebrow. And then she told me another sentence, and then on the other side of the eyebrow, and then below my eye, below my nose, then on my chin, then on my chest, and then on my rib, and then on the upper part of your head. So this is the circle that we do when we do EFT. And every time you tap on a specific place, there is a sentence that I need to repeat. So that's basically what we did, a few rounds. And the last round, you're tapping on the same parts again. And every time you say, I let go of it, and then you move to the next part, I let go of it. And at the end, I'm just gripping my wrists, and I have to think of something that is that gives me a really nice feeling. And I always thought about traveling when I felt very healthy and when I was just enjoying it. I always have this thought at the end of the EFT session, and I have to grip my wrist. I thought about traveling. And I think I did this around 4 different rounds with her, 4 different EFT rounds. And every time after the session, I had to tell her how I felt. And I have to give a number for it. So 1 was very, very relaxed, very happy, very good. And number 10 was very restless, very anxious. And when I started, I gave my feelings a 7 because I felt very restless and anxious and a bit nervous for the session. After the first round, I gave the number 6. And then I think at the end of the session, of my first session, I was at a 5.5. This I remember it well. So I felt I felt like I relieved something in my chest. I had to cry during the session as well. I felt like I did let go of some, just some sadness or things that are stored in my chest. That's exactly how it felt. And I noticed that I could breathe more into my belly after doing this session instead of just in my chest. And that was the first that I really noticed. And I felt a bit dizzy. Not that it bothered me, but I felt like, hey, something's changing. My energy is changing. So this felt very good. Um, and I just felt relieved, and I slept very well last night. It's not that I am 100% cured right now, but I felt definitely a relief, and it felt very good to do this. And I was a bit nervous at first because I'm always a bit shy to cry when I'm with someone I don't know. And this was my first time that I really talked to someone where I felt very comfortable with, and that I didn't know that well. So this felt very good. And now I will practice this EFT myself until the next session. And she told me to do this 30 minutes in the morning and then 30 minutes in the evening, maybe right before bed or maybe after dinner. That's up to me. And then we will see next Monday how I feel, if it's helping or not, if I feel, hey, I want to continue with this because it's feeling great, or if we need to change things. So I'm very happy that I just just took this step to talk to someone. And I already had this in my mind for months, and I just felt like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this, or I've just felt nervous about it. And now I'm doing this. It's totally, okay. And I'm not nervous at all anymore. And it feels like, hey, I'm on the right path again. And I am doing, I'm working on myself. That's how it feels. And that's always a good thing. So if you are doubting about talking to someone, if you're feeling lost, because I can imagine when you're feeling very lost, you think, okay, this is not helping. Talking is not helping. I'm still feeling my physical symptoms. So a therapist is not going to take this away. That were my thoughts as well. But I believe too that your emotions and your body are connected. That's exactly how I felt after the session. I felt like, a relief. I felt more, just my whole body felt more in peace, more balanced. And I think in order to heal, you just need to feel more rest in your body. Because if you are very stressed, if you are ending up in circles of thinking, oh, I'm not getting better, or I am feeling stuck, it's for your body, it's even more harder to heal, right? So I encourage everyone who is even thinking about talking to someone just to take the first step. I think there's nothing to lose. And if you really don't like it after a few sessions, you can always stop, of course. So I think it's very brave if you just at least try. If you hear this, see this as your sign to take the next step and to, just to do it, because those therapists are there for you. They are used to people who are having struggles. You don't have to feel ashamed. You are just you, and that's okay. And yeah, if you find a good therapist, they just know what to do, and I'm sure you will feel more relieved. And it's so different than just talking to, for example, my friends or my partner, because of course they are listening to what I'm feeling, but it's more just me sharing and they are listening, and that's it. But if you talk to a therapist, then you go really to the root cause of your problems, and they are really there to fix it instead of just listening to you. And of course that's a part of the therapy as well, but I really believe in there are different techniques. For me, this is right now EFT, but there are so many other techniques like EMDR, or I don't know about all of them, but there are many of them. And if you find someone who is specialized in trauma, or in even better specializing in concussions or something like this, then I'm sure they can help you to take a next step in your recovery. So this was basically my first session, and now I'm excited to practice this every day. And I will do this every day because I am really motivated right now to move forward. And again, if you are doubting about going to therapy, please do it. Or if you really want to talk first with someone or talk to me about it, let me know. You can always follow me on Instagram. You will find me when you just search for the Concussion Community. And I just hope it will help you as well. Hope this podcast makes you think about to do the same thing. And I think that's it for now. And I will give an update soon about my next sessions. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I really hope this was helpful for you. If it was, I would love it if you share it on Instagram, in a story or in a post, and tag the Concussion Community in it. I just love to see who is listening. And one last thing, are you listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts? Would you maybe do one small thing in return? Leave a short review? The more reviews this podcast will get, the easier it is for other people to find this podcast and to feel less alone and lost in their journey. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.